Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I am the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Captain Kyle in the house, everybody. So please, if you have a question for Captain Kyle, feel free to raise your hand, and at some point I will unmute your mic through this podcast. Or if you can't speak, please put your question underneath the comment area, underneath this picture on the wall, and we will read the questions at some point as well. Also, to everybody, I want to do, besides my PSAs, regarding Dallas. Dallas could not come on today to the show. We're going to try to reschedule him here sometime this week, but he had a very important call at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is when we would have started this podcast of his and I's. But he was telling me that if this is the call he's been waiting for a long time, hopefully he'll have some good news for us, everybody. So cross your fingers. I don't know what has come of this call, but I will let you know as I know. But he will definitely be coming on, and we will be rescheduling him. I'm maybe gonna do it for Friday, but I'm gonna get with his schedule and see where that's at. Also, to everybody, please be careful who you listen to, who you follow, because I can't implore you enough. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Everybody, as you know, I say it all the time. Tighten up that circle. If you have 3 to 5 people that have led you through the course of your journey here in the right direction, they're more than likely going to get you over that hump. So please stick and stay, everybody. And also, too, I want to let everybody know, there's a lot of bots, and I did put something on the wall. The Gene Ho had posted, and I talked to him real briefly on the backside. That these AI bots are being ran a lot over there on X and a lot of these social medias to help influence what people are thinking and how they're reacting. So please, everybody, be careful. And that is exactly why I do what I do with my channel. If you are here in my channel, we are glad you're here. We welcome you. We're bringing you good information, great guest. So stay. My suggestion to you is to, if you're here, stay, because what I see a lot with some people that come into my channel, they come in because it's private. You have to request and you get approved. Once you're approved, then they leave to request again, and you're more than likely not going to get back in because it puts up a red flag to us. I've said this time and time again, but I'm going to reiterate it for those of you that are new. If it puts up a red flag, so we more than likely aren't going to accept you back into the channel. If you're here and you like what you're listening to, then stay. We don't understand why people want to come in and out like a revolving door. That's just a red flag to us, to myself. And I'm trying to protect not only my channel, but the members here and my guests. And because there are so many scammers, trolls, shills, agitators, disruptors, whatever you want to call them, they're out there and they are creating a lot of damage. They're, just the division, the hate, the blackpilling, the divide, it's there. So if you're here in my channel, again, like I said, I welcome you. I'm glad you're here. If you want to stay, stay. But if you are coming in, trying to come in and out of my channel and you leave, you're more than likely going to be removed because I'm trying to kind of tighten down on getting these trolls in here, because I have had them. I do have people out there that are using my information pretending to me, which obviously it's not. And Captain Kyle gets them, SG gets them, Derek gets them, we all get them, the imposters, right? So know that I will not randomly ever reach out to you and ask if you're ready for the scare event, finances, or anything like that. So please, if you do get something like that, report them, let me know so I can make sure they're not here in my channel. But I'm doing this for a reason, everybody. I've kept my channel private because I want to try to do the best that I can to keep these bots, these scammers, whatever it is, out of my channel. Obviously, I'm not going to get them all, but for the most part, it's been working. And if this is one of you and you didn't know how I run my channel, that's how I'm running my channel, everybody, because it looks like it just puts up a big red flag. If you're coming in, you leave to request to come back in, it just is a red flag to me. And again, you may not be that troll, that shill, that whatever, but just reach out to me in a DM and let me know, and we'll work it out. We'll get you back in here. But I'm doing this because you just don't know everybody. You just don't know anymore who you're talking to, or sometimes who you're following, because some of these people we've been following, we think that have been good, they might have gone down the other path and going the other side. We've seen that happen, everybody, and we're going to see it more. A lot of these people are going to go to the wayside too. So you need to wrap your minds around that. So again, that's how I run my channel. That's why I do what I do, is to protect you, my guests, myself, and the channel from these trolls, agitators, disruptors, you name it. whatever you want to call them. Okay. So that's how I do it. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, to everybody, if you come in late to the podcast, you can listen to the podcast on the podcast host or all of my social medias. I do put the podcast on my social medias as well. We are being listened to in over 100 countries, everybody. So we are making some noise, some positive noise. And the podcast hosts are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. And the social medias are Jenny Jareed Facebook, at Jenny underscore Jareed X, at J Jareed Rumble, at J Jareed Instagram, at J Jareed True Social, The Revival of America right here on Telegram. Also, The Revival of America on YouTube. That is my newest account. And then at the official J Jareed on TikTok. All of my accounts are verified, so you guys do know that those are my legitimate accounts, except for TikTok, YouTube, and then True Social. I'm waiting for those. And as soon as I get those verified, of course, I'll let you know. But those are all my legitimate accounts, everybody. Also, too, if you have a story, everybody, or a journey to tell, please reach out to me. And I created a whole new email for the submissions of your stories. So if you've been censored, you've been wanting to tell your story, whatever it may be, but you've been too afraid, please email me at TROA. I think is what it is. Oh my gosh, I just because this is the first time TROA stories at yahoo.com, and we will get your voices heard and your story on the show, everybody. Because remember, it's your stories, your journeys that are going to help shape this world that we're coming into here in the very near future. Also, too, check out the website, everybody. It is therevivalofamerica.com. I do put the podcast up there as well. Also, the weekly newsletters are over there on that. I'm getting distracted right here, guys. I'm making sure. Okay, so for the submissions, everybody, it's TROA submissions at yahoo.com, not stories, submissions. So TROA, so it's the Revival of America, the TROA submissions at yahoo.com. So that's where you want to bring me your stories or journeys if you have one, you want to get it heard on the podcast. The website, it will also, if you sign up for the newsletter, everybody, it is free. It will give you the weekly show lineup and the updates on the podcast. So with that, everybody, we've got Kelly in the house, but I don't see Captain. Hang on. We'll get started as soon as he gets in here, everybody, but real quick, let me see if he came in muted for some reason. Also, to everybody, if you guys do have a question and you want to ask Captain that, be sure to start raising your hands, because at a certain point, I can't see the hands being raised anymore. So I think that's at 550 participants. So please raise your hand and I will unmute your mic. So with that, everybody, I would like to welcome Kelly in the house. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Hello, Jenny. How are you? I'm doing great. Captain just popped in.
Oh, good. Hey, Captain, how you doing? I'm doing great, Kelly. Thank you for
Good.
asking. How you doing, Captain? Oh, he popped out. Yeah, no, I was just letting everybody know, my PSAs, and I was just talking a little bit about the bot situation go on over on X, as well as just other, these social media. So people just need to be careful. Gene Ho did put something out in regards to it that Dave Blaze and they are not, and George Magazine are not posting over on X anymore because of the misinformation, disinformation that's going on over there, and then the bots, all the bots that are, influencing people over there. So funny, Elon Musk actually responded to Dave, and the little screenshot is on the wall. So you guys check it out. But if you guys aren't following Gene Ho, Dave Blaze, and George Magazine, you guys really should, because they're bringing it. They're just more information, more truth, bringing it to the table. So those are definitely some people you guys are going to want to follow as well. So with that, everybody, I'm not going to take Captain's time because he typically gives us 90 minutes of his time, everybody. So how are you, Captain?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Should we do a mic check?
Yeah, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
I love it. You sound great. You sound great. All right. All right. So, Captain, I don't even know where to start. There's just so much going on. And I think for me, one of the things, obviously, besides be careful who you follow, and, we're finding out about a lot of, different people kind of go onto the wayside or not maybe necessarily giving us great information. I did a show the other day with Alpha Warrior, and he was spot on. He described the 5 faces throughout our journey here, and I know everybody's at least counted one of those faces, if not all 5, which I know I haven't counted 5. But I would like for you to maybe talk a little bit about that. Also, too, kind of the expectations that we set, right? So I know we've gone into the Memorial Weekend. We are now out of it a couple days. And I know the 250-year celebration was supposed to start this weekend, right? This Memorial Weekend and go into next year, July 4th. So I know some people have had some concerns, like, well, what happened? But I think there's so much that's happening. People aren't really seeing it. They're paying more attention to the negative, right? So can you maybe touch a little bit about on how we set our expectations so high, and if we don't see something that fits our thought process or what we want, right, it kind of, we get upset. I tell my audience this all the time. Don't set your expectations so high, because if they don't come true, you're going to be pissed off. So, and then I think we can tie that into the 250-year celebration, because I know people have been kind of like, well, what was supposed to happen type deal. So if you want to touch on that, I know I've had some emails regarding that, like, what happened? So if you want to maybe give your thoughts on it, opinions, I would love that.
Yeah, well, as far as the people and being careful who you follow, that's, something that's been out there forever. And it's, what are they trying to do? And are they trying to bring more hostility? Are they trying to create division? Are they trying to use exposure as a way to, bring attention to themselves? And it's like, what's their agenda? Because when you look at people as agenda over time, is it about bringing people together, and is it about lifting them up and helping them make it day by day? Or is it about, you know, being the one that is the one that I expose this and I'm going to expose that? And it's like, the deal with that is that it accomplishes nothing but brings more division. And justice comes from God. And when you know that nobody is going to get out of this, and I mean absolutely nobody, and how do I justify that statement? Well, if the individuals, the the players that have been exposed so far, as well as the money that's been taken from them, and the things that have happened up to this point, if there were not justified justice brought down on those people, when they became in a position of authority again, possibly, the wrath that would come from that would be absolutely devastating. There would be no accountability at all, ever, for anything that they ever did. They would bring social injustice to the 10th degree. It would be that you think that, like, persecution of like Trump and other people, we're talking not persecution, but I'm talking execution, because now they're in a position of authority and power again. They would never allow that to ever be taken from them again, and a position that they would use it to basically dictate and eliminate anyone that was a possible threat to them ever again, period. Just for what has happened so far. So you can nix that right off the fucking list, period. Justice is coming. And
Hey, no, go ahead.
and so it's now, as far as like the Memorial Day and the celebration, when Trump first announced it, he announced it as Memorial Day to this next 4th of July. But he
2026,
never
right?
really got specific in it in the first announcements. Now, there were posts later on that we shared that there were two possibilities that were being played out. And this was on the Ingersoll Lockwood website. And one was the actual celebration starting on Memorial Day this year and going up into the 250th anniversary celebration next year. But then the second one was actually starting on July the 4th next year, going through Memorial Day the following year. And in doing so, there were a lot of different potentials on why it would need to be one or the other. And a lot of that had to do with the things that are going on event related around the world, and which one of those would have been the timeline in which played it out. And apparently, we're on the timeline that played it out to be the celebration, main celebration starting for July the 4th, 2050. The 250th anniversary, and being starting next year. But from what I look at is that mostly that it appears is that it's both the situations are going to come into manifestation of the main event, because you can go look at it. It's on Ingersoll Lockwood's website. But Kelly also did a big thing about it today on our channel, and the two different options, and being the main option was there in Florida. It's a massive situation that had to be built and put together for an introduction into all of the new quantum technologies and all of the new events that were scheduled to basically allow people to come in and see and be educated and experience all of the new technologies and stuff that's coming into our reality, period. But then there were another side of that that was also possible for all of there's 4 different other sites that were a part of states getting involved in it: Texas, Las Vegas, and Iowa, and another one I can't think right now. But that these states would have other events as well that were also a part of the whole scenario, but it was kind of played out as it would be an either or. But my understanding is that it's both. It's the main one that's going to be in Florida, and the main situation being built there, but then each state also participating in their own state fairs that go hand in hand with the main one there in Florida for different parts and access to the country.
So then say so okay, so back to so for the people, right? So I'm seeing what I am seeing. I mean, everything is out there for everybody to know if they want to know. I just feel like a lot of people are missing the greatest time to be alive because we're so distracted by other things, right? And then the World Fair. I agree with you. I believe it's going to be, in different parts of the nation, right, where people can come. And we're gonna have the what, maybe 60,000 patents out there. There'll be, I mean, who knows what it's gonna be, right? But we're gonna push out new things that are coming, right? Like the technologies, maybe the patents, the medbeds, all that kind of stuff. Is that what you're talking about with this big
Yes,
world
actually,
fair?
that's so back in the day when they used to have the world fairs back in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, that's what they were there doing, was is they were actually there showing the people the technologies that they were going to allow to stay out into the public domain, and letting the people actually see and experience what they were doing right then. And this was really about the elites coming together and discussing what they were going to allow technologies wise, as well as um, futuristic memes being introduced into the public space to stay out there, and how they were going to kind of moderate that going forward.
So see, everybody, there's a lot of great things happening, and I just think there's so much noise, and I hear it because I sit in some of these rooms and listen to it for a purpose to let you guys know, be careful. This is what I'm hearing, whatever it may be. So there's a lot of noise out there, everybody. So just stay in, hang on to it like Captain's talking about, the positive things that are coming, what's going to be shown to us, the world, whoever wants to come here to see it, that's for us. This is what we're coming into, our new world, right? Captain talks about it all the time. So I think the noise is really loud out there, and a lot of people are staying focused in that noise. So everything and anything you want to know is out there. Like I saw a post today on X, it was talking about Putin. Like he said it out loud, right? And it's basically, how
He
we're
had to
taking,
say that.
yeah.
It had to come
Explain
from
that.
Putin. It had to come from Putin about the United States throwing the coup in 2014. Even though we knew it, we've actually posted about it. We've actually put it all out there that the CIA and all of them were all involved in that coup to specifically take over Ukraine and establish who they wanted to be in office there. But if it came from Trump or anybody in this on this side, it would have been like us having Putin as our puppet, and that he was actually the puppet master of Trump all over again, kind of bullshit, right? Trump, Russia, Russia, Russia bullshit. Well, with him saying it and him exposing it and exposing it to the world, putting the spotlight on exposing the United States for actually doing that stuff, then now it can actually be talked about even by Trump or anybody else, because we didn't talk about it first. He did. And so that's the intent, to be able to expose these other governments for the corruption that's involved in them, so that the people can become aware of exactly what the hell is happening out there. And so if you follow the mainstream narrative, you might as well just pack it up, because you have got no idea what the hell's going on. And so the deal is, you need to learn to think for yourself, stay out of the bullshit noise, and don't get caught up in all of this garbage, because this garbage is about taking down all of the corrupt ways and means that society has been dictated to since before any of us were born. And it's all got to collapse. And in doing so, it's going to hurt. Period. It's going to hurt. If you get all caught up in it, not understanding that the purpose by it is to bring in the new. It's like if you were going to rebuild your house and you didn't realize the extent of how much the remodel was going to be. You thought it was just do a little bit of stuff here and there, but you came home and that freaking thing was down to the slab. You would be freaking the fuck out. And it's like, no, we're rebuilding it. We had to tear it down so that we could rebuild it. Then it's like, oh my God, reality just set in. I got no house. I don't know what it's going to be. And we just don't know where. Shut the fuck up, please. You got to tear it down to rebuild it.
Agreed. And see, like Captain Kyle just said it right there. Putin had to say it, not Trump, because then it would look differently if Trump said it. No differently. And I know I'm going all over the map, everybody, but I'm trying to let you guys know that these things are coming to the forefront, but it's all about how you interpret it, or somebody else is misinterpreting it and turning it into a different narrative. So like Jake Tapper came out the other day and he was like against he was all reporting on the Biden, but now the Democrats are thinking he's a part of Trump, and he might have been on the Trump side the whole time. So again, the media, they had to use the media to help take down the media, right? And these corrupt people. So you got to kind of go a little bit deeper than just the surface stuff, everybody, because there's more to it than just the surface, right, Captain?
it always is. And this is why you don't know who the good guys are or the bad guys are until this is all over with, and by purpose, so that you can try to use your own discernment to navigate through this. God gave you that for a purpose, for you to be able to see through the BS in the world, but you've not exercised it in a long time. And so you're pretty much a quadriplegic in your abilities to think for yourself.
Thank you, Captain. All right, so I think that was enough for me, and we're going to go into the audience now, everybody, because remember, your voices are important too. So I have unmuted a few mics, and I know there are some questions already on my board for Captain. I'm sure Captain has some on his board as well. So let's see, James Burt Mullins, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Captain Kyle your question. And remember, everybody, if you guys request a mic, Captain gives us 90 minutes of his time. So let's be mindful of that. Go ahead, James. Your mic is unmuted. Okay, if not, I got to move on, guys. Okay, let's see. Archer, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Well, my question was around Russia. So Captain Kyle did a wonderful, feedback on that already. So thank you.
Yeah, this whole war and this whole narrative was predetermined long ago. This is all just scripted, played out for the public and for the actual true narrative to come out, to be exposed, and for the corruption to be eliminated. Period.
And you know what, Captain? You say scripted. When we say we're watching a movie, everybody, it is being said more and more now on the lamestream media. I mean, Jesse Waters came out and said it. I think I put a clip on my wall, but it's just more confirmation of what we've been saying, everybody. It's scripted out. So uh, we're watching the biggest production in human history. All right, James, go ahead. I unmuted your mic again. Do you have a question for Captain? Go ahead. Hit the blue button, James, in the middle of your phone or screen. All right, James, I gotta move on. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Mercy, Grace, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mercy Grace. Your mic is unmuted. Nobody wants to talk today. All righty, Trump train. Go ahead.
Hello, Jenny, and hello, Captain Kyle.
Hello.
I got a question in regards to Robert Kraft's latest post saying something big is coming, like within the next couple of days. Captain, do you know anything about this?
Are you talking, Captain? We can't hear you. Hello. Go ahead, Captain. We can't hear you.
Uh-oh, Jenny, they don't want that information to get
I
out.
know. I don't know, Kelly. Can you hear him, Trump train? Kelly, can you hear him?
I cannot hear him. Let me text him just to be
Okay.
sure. Hold on.
See what happens when you're over the target? Captain? There he goes. All right, there he is. He's back. Go ahead, Captain. Where'd you go? There you are. Go ahead.
All right. I got kicked off a phone call ended up kicking me off. I only heard part of that question up to that Robert said that there's something big coming and we'll have to wait and see what it is. It isn't for me to say. But we are actually having a debate this weekend on some of the individuals that have tried or want to actually talk about his program not being what it appears to be, and that theirs may be the program that needs to be the one that's being implemented. And we're going to give them the floor and let them bring the receipts and talk about it openly this Saturday. So those individuals that have said those things negatively about Robert, and Robert has held his tongue, they will be able to discuss those issues that they have point blank, person to person, live on chat Saturday night. We're hosting it.
Awesome.
There you go, Trump Train. You can take your question over there, see if you can get it answered. All right, Melinda Wright, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, some of this stuff is counting out for me, so I don't know if it's cutting out for you guys too. Thank you so much, Captain Kyle, Kelly, yourself, Jenny. Okay, here's my question, Captain Kyle. I'm kind of shaking in my boots a little bit, boots because President Trump eventually his term will end. Will we have sovereignty 100% in place such that we can defend it by the time he leaves office?
Yes, actually, it's
Good.
already established, and you just don't know about it yet.
Yeah. Well, then my follow-up would be, who's going to be the next president? Would you care to speculate on that?
Nope, not gonna do it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Thank you,
Yes.
Melinda. Was that 4, Kelly, or was that 3? I can't remember. I called on a few, but not many have answered. I can't remember. Okay, I'm gonna take one more, Kelly, and then you can go. Or was that 4, Kelly? Do you know? All right, go ahead, Rejoice. Your mic is unmuted, and then Kelly, you can go ahead.
Thank you. I just had my first grandchild 2 months ago. My second grandchild is due on the 21st of June. Both their doctors in Chicago and Boston recommended they keep their baby away from anybody that's unvaccinated for 6 months. Now, I've heard that the documentaries that are coming out, the movies that everybody's going to watch, that's going to wake up the normies about the COVID truth. Is that what you know?
So the exposure for that has been already forthcoming, but yes, there are actual events that are planned that's going to bring complete exposure to all of it.
Like before the 14th of June?
Oh, I can't tell you an actual specific date. Things are always based upon certain situations actually unfolding. So there is nothing on an actual hard date, but very few things. Certain timelines are based upon situational events actually taking place, then something else will take place. And as far as hard dates, there's not but a couple. And those are specifically set for a very end possibility that if these other things do not happen or something does not happen for that to happen before then, this will happen specifically. And that's not even on a firm date, but it's on a very firm area, like a specific potential month or something like that. But nothing is set to where it's like this is going to happen by this date or this time. Everything is fluent in probabilities and possibilities because of how everything actually manifests and works out. We're linear in time, but the things in which you're actually controlling all of this are outside of time. And it doesn't apply in those possibilities and probabilities manifesting. Just the way it is. It's hard for us to grasp because we're on such a linear time that everything needs to be this or that by now or then. And it just doesn't work that way.
Do you think there's a good possibility by the 21st of June that they'll know the truth?
Who are you asking to know the truth?
The normies that are indoctrinated by the educational system and have their PhDs and listen to only their doctors.
I would say probably a lot of them, but I don't know the extent of when the fullness is coming out. They're already pushing it right now, just like, RFK Jr. basically changed the recommendation for pregnant mothers and babies and stuff like that. This is happening on a very short timeline, and it's being pushed.
And rejoice, we never know when that's going to happen. Like just when he came out and announced that and announced pulling out of the WHO, we don't know when it could be tomorrow. So it's hard, like Captain said, there's no hard dates that we could give you.
So dates are always an epic fail, right? Like Kelly says, there nobody ever knows, right? But if you look at the things that are happening, this is a slow rollout, everybody. It's already been done. It's already been done. It's just bringing it out to the public slowly, right? You can't give everybody the public all this information at once because it'd be pandemonium. But it's already done. So the fact that he's doing this with the food, I just read something before we came on chat here about the Skittles. They're taking whatever chemical out of it, and then he's stopped the vaccinations being put on the kids as immunizations as part of it. So it's huge. I think it's just we're going boom 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 boom, one thing after another. But again, like, take these little wins or big wins, however you want to take them, as they are to you. If they're big or they're little, take them and hang on tightly to them, because everybody, we are winning, and this is already done. So just hang in there, rejoice. Again, dates are an epic fail. I don't give them. I don't like to give them because it's God's timing. Only God knows.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
know
Rejoice.
God's timing is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's
that's a
always
great
on.
birthday.
He's
That's a
always
great
on time.
birthday.
He's never late. Go ahead, Kelly.
I was going to say that's a great birthday for your impending birth of your grandchild. I have my little Link was born on Trump's birthday last year, so he'll be one this year. So congratulations. It'll get there, honey.
It will. I'm enjoying the pictures until I can meet him in person.
I love that. Congratulations. God bless, Rejoice.
Okay, did you want me to start the board?
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly. You can do 4, and then I'll go back to this side of the board. Go ahead.
Okay. Teen, she asked, do you see a reverse rapture coming? I keep hearing the great and terrible day of the Lord in my spirit, and I'm seeing light strikes from the sky coming directly down, not from an angle, and a reverse rapture, people disappearing like in the book of Luke. Do you prophetically see that too, Captain Kyle? Captain, we can hear you again.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking. I mean, I don't like to just talk whenever it's, somebody asks
Okay,
a
I thought you were
question like
talking.
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, whenever it's a question like that, I really have to process it and think about how I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say. It's got to come through my spirit.
Sure.
And so, I don't see something in that aspect, and it's really difficult for me to explain what I see and what I know to be, because it's not for me to unveil. At least for now, it's not. And there is going to be a rapture. That's basically us moving to the higher um, dimensional space, being called up. And what I do see, and I think that it could be applied to the reverse rapture nature is that the old 3D and below world that exists right now will continue down the apocalyptic timeline after we split and separate completely. And I mean completely separate, not where they're commingling like they are now. That there are beings and entities of other dimensional worlds that are 3D that will actually be a part of being put into this realm to stay for and through that destruction process. And if you want to call it a reverse rapture, then it's kind of like that, but not. So it's really hard for me to describe. And it's nothing that we have to worry about. But yes, the world itself in which we're living in, all of its senses, Mother Nature, so to speak, are highly active because it's going through birth pains. And that's what we're going through right now. The planet itself is going through birth pains, going into its higher dimensional self as it raises as the frequency gets raised on the planet, it's going through these birthing pains. And Mother Nature is showing us those birth pains. Just take it for that. It's the best way I can describe it.
You did great. Thank you for that. And those are pretty deep questions. So I get where you got to have a little bit of you got to have a little bit of thought process and goes through your spirit on that. Thank you for that, Captain. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, the next one is from Facts Prevail. Captain Kyle, do you see the Medbeds coming out this year? I only ask because my mom has Alzheimer's.
Outside, yeah, there you go.
Yes, tongue twister there for the past 4 years, and I am her caretaker. And do people have to be in 5D to get a Medbed treatment? Thank you, and God bless.
So I don't know when they're going to finally release the med beds. The bed beds will not be released until after the arrests and people have been taken out of play, period. Because the potential power of med beds is not just that they can heal you and bring regenerative life and so on and so forth. They can also be destructive, and they could bring the destruction of the entirety of the planet. And that will not happen. So I know it sucks. My wife has major medical issues. And the situation is that we have to deal with them. I have to deal with them on a continuous basis, knowing that there's something out there somewhere right now, this minute, that if she could get in it, it would heal her and bring her back to the woman that I married a long time ago. And till that actual day happens, I have to go through the process of knowing that that is a part of our journey, mine and hers, until that day actually happens, with the encouragement of knowing that that is on the horizon and that she's not going to have to live this way forever, or I having to live this way forever, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel that we're going to get through, and that I don't have to focus on the bad of the way it is every day, just like it has been throughout today and last night and 2 days before, where she's almost not able to get out of bed. It's miserable. It's life debilitating. And so I get it. I go through these same struggles. It's not like I'm immune to them, but I know that it's for a time and a season. And that season may be a long time, but that season is coming to an end. And I know the future that it holds. And I focus on what's going to be and not what is that's my eyes actually seeing. And that's what I focus on. And that's what I actually hold on to every day, taking care of her and doing the things that I need to do. Period.
And then, Captain, the second part of that question was, do people have to be in 5D to get medbed treatment?
No,
Okay, thank you.
the situation is that those are introductions into our reality that in 5D, that will be a normality. And mostly further along in 5D, we won't even need them anymore. They're like training wheels for who we're going to be in the future. Future, more advanced races only use things like that for like major accidental things that happen, like emergency care, not sick care. All right.
Okay, the next one is from Dottie Irene. She says, "Hi, y'all. Abundance and blessings and thank yous. I'm confused about why we should be building generational wealth if we are ascending. Do we need wealth? What would we need it for? Is this what God is wanting us to do? Thank you for your service to all of us."
It's about a perception and a mind thing and where you are in your reality. I don't think that you need to be personally doing all of those things to just go absolutely crazy, because yes, down the road, money is not, it's not a focus. And in the higher dimensional realms, it's not a focus at all, because it's not a necessity, because you don't have the same financial responsibilities, and you can pretty much do and manifest just about anything. So it's a mindset, really. It's trying to bring a lack mentality into an abundant life. Nobody has or experienced that abundant, overwhelming life. So they're trying to bring in this lack mentality. It's basically called a broke mentality into an abundant situation where you don't understand it. Your mind doesn't comprehend it because you've never truly experienced that, where you lack for nothing at all, period. And so you're bringing that lack mentality that you have now of not having enough or just barely enough to get by or survive into an abundant prosperity of living your entirety of life and all of your children's lives. That's what we're truly creating by what we're doing here, is that abundance of prosperity forever. And so putting your focus, this is where it's so hard because so many people put their focus in that this is all there is. And what we're doing is that we're changing this world into a better reality. And in doing so, I'm building the wealth that I need so that I can be everything that I'm not right now. It's a false sense of reality. So, do you need to do that? No, you don't. Um, all I have ever done is done enough so that I will be um, pretty much very financially secure and blessed over the next several years up until the time in which we don't necessarily need that kind of abundant prosperity moving forward. So it's going to be a blessing for the time period that it's going to be a blessing. And I didn't go and bet the farm on it, buy all this stuff, and just go crazy. But my expectation and my hope is not the RV and not all of this financial stuff. My hope, my faith and what my expectation is none of that. I know that that's what's coming along with the actual true freedom that we're being set free into. Freedom is what I focus on, and the spiritual blessings that are coming. The financial part and being set free is all a part of the true freedom, because right now we're debt slaves. You're in debt to something, and to be in debt to something means that you're a bond servant to that. You are not free. We will be truly free in all that that actually means. That's what my focus is on, is freedom, true freedom, spiritual freedom, emotional freedom, and truth. All right.
Okay. The last one here is Captain Kyle. It's from Grace 4343. Captain Kyle, should we still share information on different platforms as a way of waking people up? I look crazier and crazier with every post I share. Thank you.
Yes and no. Meaning that it's still good to continue to be you. I mean, if that's what you want to do and be posting information that helps people potentially wake up, mean that you're just basically planting seeds, because you're not going to wake anybody up. That comes from the spirit. And until their spirit has that aha moment, all you're doing is planting the seeds for the spirit to finally bring life to them. So if you want to continue planting seeds, that's a good thing. I would never tell somebody to stop, ever. Because if I did, then why am I doing what I'm doing here? Do I need to stop? Because if I do, I need to quit right now.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, let's see.
Welcome.
Was that four?
Yes, I was just
Yes.
saying you're welcome, honey.
All right, thank you. Okay, all right. Connie from West Virginia, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Yes, thanks to each of you. Captain Kyle, with respect to the higher dimensions in the future and the animal kingdom, do you think that we will be able to communicate with the animals and they won't, for example, be in fear of us? I care for a lot of feral cat colonies. And is the day coming when they will not have to fear me? They'll be able to know that I'm not a threat, that I'm trying to help?
Yes. And the deal is they do more so than you realize even right now. They're just scared.
Gotcha. I can usually win most of them over, but with the grace of God, hopefully it will get even easier as the future comes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Connie. All right, Colorado Carl, tongue tied. Don't feel bad, Kelly. It happens to me all the time. Colorado Carol, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Carol. Your mic is unmuted. All right, Chris, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Jenny,
Carol.
I must have pressed the button by accident. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. All right, Chris, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. Your mic is unmuted. Nobody wants to talk today. That's crazy. All right, Granny USA, your mic is unmuted. Do you have a question for Kyle? Go ahead, Granny USA. All right, Kelly, it's all you.
All right, we're all done.
No,
You can
I'm
see y'all
here.
later.
I'm here.
Oh,
I
there
forgot
she
to hit.
is. There she is.
I'm sorry. I forgot to hit the X. Anyway, thank you, and thank you to Kyle and you, Jenny, and to Kelly for everything you guys do for us. And I know Kyle doesn't like to put dates on things, so I was wondering what is the next big marker we can kind of expect to happen.
Oh man. Um,
Loaded questions.
so golly. Um,
The parade.
yeah,
Well, we're expecting that
that's
already.
one, but I I think that there's more so than that. Um, I think the real big one that's actually is this exposing of the Fed and its true purpose. Um, that is a major hard marker.
So when it collapses,
When it collapses, everything's going to accelerate exponentially. And so that's been one of those kind of markers that's there, that's a part of the debt slavery to set the people free.
well, that'll be wonderful. So we can expect that next, maybe
I don't know about it next, but that's
next big
probably
one,
one of the biggest main ones, because a lot of these things are markers, but in different ways, and how much they actually mean,
right?
and who they mean it to.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
God
Granny
bless,
USA.
and God bless you all.
Thank you. God bless you. And real quickly, Captain, I have a question for you before we go on to Kelly. So regarding this big, beautiful bill, I've sat in some spaces, some chat rooms, whatever, and they're, I think they're these just these agitators, disruptors, right? Coming in and talking about how it's not such a big, beautiful bill and just putting this black pill out there like Trump is benefiting from it, all these billionaires, and he's not for you. Oh, it was just horrible, horrible. And I'm just shaking my head, going, I just can't. I finally stood up and said something like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing in that space. But can you talk a little bit on the big beautiful bill for people so they understand the greatness of it, and not obviously, you guys always hear me, don't listen to the shills out there and the black pillars talking shit like that, but can you focus a little bit on the great big bill for people and maybe what they can pull out of it and hang on to in a good way and not a negative way, and listening to these disruptors out there that have an
So
agenda?
yes. So really the most important parts of the entirety is absolutely nothing to do with the debt or the debt ceiling, because that's all bullshit, because none of that means absolutely anything. I mean absolutely nothing. Um, because we're talking about a fiat currency and a fiat system that's basically being used intentionally to bankrupt the central banking system all over the world. This is happening on purpose. And you can see how it's actually affecting other economies around the world and what it's actually doing to them right this minute. China, Japan, go out there and look at what's happening on the global markets and what's happening to their systems, their financial systems, and how they are all collapsing. That's what's actually taking place here. Okay. And so that whole thing about the raising of the debt ceiling, more debt, and blah, 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 it's all going to go away. That's all going away. But what it is doing is it's actually intent is to give the middle class and the lower income people, which is the majority of the population, making under $200,000 a year, to be set free from that financial burden of the taxes. Because whenever you set people free, it gives those people so much more empowerment back to themselves that they do not have right now or they do not know. And when the government, as it stands right now publicly, has less control over you because they're not in your finances anymore because of the IRS, which is nothing more than just the collection agency for the Fed. When that is actually taken away, that power, and given back to the people, the majority of the people, the billionaires and the millionaires, the IRS and the taxes don't affect them at all. That's the biggest lie out of everything, because the lie is that it's benefiting them. No, the tax system that's already in place has always benefited them because they pay people and they use their money to get out of paying taxes on purpose, because there's a bazillion ways to do that. But the average person making $200,000 or less are the ones that pay the majority of all the taxes that are actually made. Not talking corporate and business tax and all that other stuff. I'm talking about personal income. So what's important is giving the majority of the people back their power of finances back to themselves that they don't know right now, but they will. It's a stepping stone into the elimination of taxes altogether. And so anybody that says anything different is a fucking retard. Plain and simple.
Yes, I love it, Captain. I love
And I
it.
will
Thank
tell
you so
anybody in the
much.
world that very thing. I do not care. We'll see which one's right in the end.
Yep, nope, I love it, and I'm glad you said it because I'm gonna make a short clip out of this. I'm gonna pass it everywhere because I'm tired of these disruptors coming in, and it was just horrible what I mean, it's really it can be dangerous. Everybody, I mean, they're doing podcasts and spreading this bullshit. This individual's anti-Trumper, and I knew it already just by the shit that was coming out of his mouth. Then I did some research on it, off and I, and sure enough. You got to be careful, everybody, because they're telling everybody, go tell your senators, call your senators to stop this, da 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 da. So it can be dangerous, everybody. So I can't tell you enough. You got to be careful who you follow, because what Captain just described is spot on. I'm glad he said it, coming from somebody different than myself. I said something about it the other day in space, but yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that, Captain, because people need to hear that because there was great things I do believe, obviously, within that bill for sure. So,
So they're in the process right now in the state of Texas eliminating property taxes. It's in our Congress right now. And basically we actually voted on the proposition back during the in November, where we voted for the elimination of property taxes. And so now it's going through the process of just like that through legislature. It's happening also in Florida. The states are all follow suit. This kind of thing happens at a state level, not a federal level. Federal level doesn't have anything to do with this kind of stuff. Never did. Wasn't ever supposed to, actually. And so the situation was is that when we voted for this back then, it was actually stated that are you for or against the elimination of property taxes if the elimination of property taxes did not by any other means increase your tax burden at all, period, nothing else. And 77% of the people voted for the elimination of it, and 23% voted for property taxes to stay. And it was like 600,000 people voted for property taxes to stay. And it was like, in that kind of statement, why could anybody think that property taxes need to stay? Well, come to find out that a lot of these individuals that voted for property taxes to stay believe that if the property taxes were eliminated, then basic social services would end. And that's not the case. They never needed them. They use that money as a way to keep people enslaved to the system and not being able to be free in the things in which you own. Even if you owned your house outright, paid it off, and you couldn't pay your taxes anymore, then they could come and take it away from you. That means that you're still just a renter. You're not an actual property owner. You're just a different level of renter. And it's like that is a part of their system that needs to completely die. And it is. So anybody that talks about this stuff, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about, because taxes and property taxes and all of that stuff is illegal, always has been. And it was a part of taking those rights away from the actual sovereign people and putting us into their corporate construct and fleecing us until we were completely freaking broke and they owned everything. Oh, that was a part of Agenda 2030. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Fuck you. I won't be happy, and I'm going to own everything that I have, and you're not taking it. Take your freaking hands off of it. And this is the way that it's going to be. We are not putting up with that crap anymore. And the people that still want to go down that path are ignorant.
Yeah, and everybody too, like Captain spot on. You guys gotta, if you're gonna read the bill, read, outside of the lines, right? A lot of people are putting their own agenda behind it, and yeah, it's not good what they're putting out there.
Jenny, would you mind if I read something real quick that I think would really be a great help to your audience?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Get on it, girl.
Do you really think that this Congress was going to codify the Doge cuts? Why would
Wait, stop right there. Okay. Now, I want to add to this before you actually read this. Okay. This Congress, we have a complete Republican Senate and House. They've actually sent the least amount of bills to be signed by the president than any other Congress ever by this time.
Yes.
They're worthless.
Yep.
It's a scam. It's to show the people that Congress is a joke.
See, exposure, everybody. I keep saying it. Remember, exposure. It's all about exposure. Thank you, Captain.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just
That's
want to make
okay.
that point
No worries.
known.
And he goes on to say, why would they think that? Our election system is fraudulent. Do you think Trump doesn't know that the majority of the Congress couldn't win a fair and honest election? All Trump needs this Congress to do is to pass this one big, beautiful bill. Why? It's a massive tax relief for the American people, and it takes the power away from the government. The less money the government can take from the American people, the less power they have over them. Trump is a wartime president, and he can declare national emergencies. That gives him the power to use this funding for whatever he needs in order to save and protect the republic. He did this exact same thing in his first term. Have people forgotten? Congress specifically said that no funding could be used to build the wall. What did Trump do? He took the massive increase in military spending and had the military build the wall. Congress couldn't do a thing about it. Q followers knew, Red Castle, Green Castle. If you know, you know. That was an example from Trump's first term. But what about Biden's term? Do you remember a whole lot of people complaining about Biden signing a bill that funded and hiring of 87,000 new IRS agents to go after Americans? Remember that? So many people were pushing panic on social media. But what actually happened? Those IRS agents weren't hired. And what's happening now, Trump is slashing IRS jobs by the tens of thousands and looking to replace the IRS with the External Revenue Service. Do you think this one big, beautiful bill is going to be any different? All the stories about what's in the bill is all the same old panic-pushing clickbait. It's politics used to keep everyone divided and fighting over meaningless stuff so that the politicians can grandstand and win brownie points. Just because something is in the bill doesn't mean Trump has to spend that money at all or spend it on what Congress says that he must spend it on. The Constitution says this about the president. The executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. Guess who gets to determine how the money gets spent in the executive branch once the Congress has cut the check? We have literally been watching Trump using Doge to dismantle the executive branch and get rid of all the fraud, waste, and abuse. And guess what? All that fraud, waste, and abuse exists because of Congress, and they aren't preventing Trump from cutting it all. Trump is going to continue to win the court challenges against him, cutting the executive branch, and he knows it. The Constitution gives him the power to do it. What's the other meaningless thing that's being pushed to panic the people? Trump's one big beautiful bill is massively increasing spending. It's going to bankrupt America. We're already bankrupt, and the debt was never going to be paid back. Never. And maybe Trump's plan has always been to bankrupt this global debt slavery system controlled by the central bankers. Maybe Trump is bankrupting the system on purpose so that he can replace it with the new system controlled by the people with the honest money backed by gold. And here's where most people are missing what Trump is doing. Why might a massive increase in spending be really important now? How do you fund continuity of government operations as you fight a war against an insurgency that's embedded in your government? Trump already knows what's coming. Do you really think Trump is going to let them get away with stealing the election of 20? Do you really think Trump isn't going to transform our entire election system? How many new vaccines are going to be up for grabs after the fraud is exposed and mass arrests happens? Think bigger. The new Congress that's coming isn't going to stab Trump in the back or resist our government's complete transformation. They're going to be the biggest red wave in history. And that post, if anyone's on X and would like to follow him, is by Joe Lang. She's one of my very favorites on there. So I can forward that over to your channel, Jenny, if you'd like.
Yes, please do. That was bam, 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 everybody. Take that and put that in your back pocket because that's exactly what we're seeing. But the disruptors out there are not going to show you that or tell you that, nor is it mainstream media. So thank you for sharing that, Kelly. That was huge, everybody. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, please, if you don't mind putting it on my wall, and then I'll pin it.
Yes,
So
of
that was
course.
what I was saying,
Go ahead,
would
Captain.
but not as eloquently.
Yeah.
But we love it how you say it too. We
Yeah.
love how you say it, Captain.
Yes, it's just he gets very descriptive about it. And I think it's like, especially, I like how he can explain it to the normies, but then he connects it to like what we know and Q. So it kind of rounds it out. The other thing I wanted to mention is when you talked about the Fed and that marker, Il Donald Trumpo had posted just recently, about an hour ago, saying this shall be fun. And he's got a picture of himself with popcorn. And underneath it says breaking. A federal judge just gave Doge the green light to access sensitive payment data in the Treasury Department.
That's
So
huge,
looks like
everybody.
that might be a start, guys.
And you know, the fiat's dead, the CBDCD or CBDC, whatever it is dead, everybody. So I think it's just it's coming. Just got to be patient, right? God's timing. So, okay, Kelly, I had two more hands pop up here, so I'm going to take these two, and then you can go ahead and go. And then,
Sounds good, honey.
okay, Dawn, your mic is unmuted. If you have a question for Captain, go ahead and ask Captain your question.
Thank you. I've been
course.
listening to you guys all the time, but you're spot on, Captain, to what you're saying. But my thing is, when some of these truths say don't pay your taxes, that's a false statement because I still have a mortgage payment, and I went just for the heck of it, a month without paying my first half mortgage, and my bank sent me a letter. If I don't pay it, they'll pay it, and I have to pay the interest besides. So don't do that. The second thing is, I think if a lot of these platforms when people come on TV and stuff like Biden and all them would make a big thing about it because we all know as what we know that most of them are dealt with already anyway. We shouldn't bring that out. And I think if that wasn't brought out to the public so much that knowing they're already gone and we know the Congress is gone, that's why a lot of the stuff hasn't taken place. So when do you think, and they just said it now, that hopefully the dividend or the Social Security relief will help some of the senior citizens to help us so we don't struggle. Do you think that's soon coming?
So as far as what I understand, as far as the Social Security, that Social Security should be increased either, I think it's this next check. Um, but I'm not sure, but it is coming. And there's the purpose behind that is to help in that area specifically. Um, and that's one thing that I've always told people is to stay physically responsible with any of your financial obligations and to never stop just because things are different. The deal is that until it actually is officially made public, things are operating as they were always because we are in a continuity of government. Continuity of government means that everything stays the same. And so the banks, they're operating under same old protocols. Mortgage companies, same old protocols. Nothing is changing until they are forced to change. If you don't think that they won't come after you and try to foreclose on you, well, that's a complete lie because they are foreclosing on properties as fast as they can right now. And the deal is that I know for a fact that they will have to actually turn those properties back over to the individuals that were foreclosed on. But it does not negate the fact that you will still go through that process, be forced to move, be forced out in that process. And is there restitution for that? I'm sure there is, but to what degree and what problems that it's going to bring upon you and your family. So don't go trying to not pay. It's just like don't go open credit lines and don't go buy stuff that you think that you're gonna get, not have to pay it off, because that's a wrong kind of mentality to go and take money, take stuff, and think that you're gonna get it for free. Because that intent is wrong minded and that will not work. We can't go into a society of the future being in truth and in love in a complete freaking lie. And that would be going into it under a lie with false intentions. So I pay my bills, I pay my credit cards, I take my financial situation serious, and I'm not going to tell anybody to try to defraud the system in any way, shape, or form. Period.
Well, thank you for that, Captain Carl, because I'm a 75-year-old veteran, and I make sure that I do not go delinquent and stuff. It's a struggle, but I make sure I do not, because I know we're still haven't hit that switch yet where we're in the new system. So, like, I just making people understand, because in some of these platforms they're telling them not to pay that stuff, and that's wrong for them to be told that. So I thank you, and like I said, I think also allow these, like when we see the TV program and stuff of all these people that we know are gone, I don't think we should put them on, keep talking about them. I think if we didn't talk about them, they would go away too. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Don.
Appreciate it.
All right, Cece, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Captain Kyle your question.
Hi, Captain Cal and Jenny and Kelly.
Hello.
Appreciate and love you guys all. Hey, I just want your thoughts. I mean, this is my thoughts. I know we have still probably 20 plus illegal immigrants here, and I know they're going after the big bad ones right now. What's your thoughts regarding when the Sarah and the Gesera hits? Do you think Gesera will be a way of quickly getting rid of most of the immigrants to go back to their own country if they would have to return there to get their own financial blessings? Do you think that's potentially what will happen? And then once there, they will be able to then hopefully rebuild their own countries. Just your
So
thoughts on that.
that is actually the scenario. So they are going after the criminals, but there are some that get rounded up in it. But that's just the way it is, and that's cause and effect. But the intent is to go after the main criminal ones, and the gangs and so on and so forth. But people get caught up in situations where they're in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, and they get what's allotted to them as well. But when the quantum system comes in, the new banking system comes in, you can't operate in the funding and the financials at all if you're illegal. So you can't be in this country illegally, period, and think that you can operate within the financial system, because you can't, period. And the only way that you can operate within the financial system is to go home to your country of origin. And in doing so, the financial opportunities that you were here originally for will now be available to you in your home country. And that will be the means in which those countrymen will be able to rebuild their own actual countries the way that they want. And most illegals that are in the country are only here for that kind of opportunity. If they had that opportunity in their own home country, they would go home.
Thank you,
Okay,
Captain.
thank you.
Thank you, Cece. All right, Miss Kelly, it's all you, my friend.
Okay, Joe asked, a friend, sorry, I thought I was unmuted. A friend and I are experiencing high blood pressure as of late, which is unusual for us. My blood pressure especially has been in and out of stroke territory. Could this be symptoms of ascension? I've never been on any meds. I'm an otherwise very healthy 71-year-old young gun. Thank you for all you do.
I don't know if it's actually a symptom, but it may be a symptom that you're experiencing because of it potentially. I know that sometimes my actual blood pressure goes really, really low. And as low as it's been, sometimes they would actually consider that so low that I shouldn't even be functioning and I would be absolutely normal. It blew the doctors and the nurses away. And I think everybody has their own experiences within this time period. And I couldn't really say that anything is normal because nothing that we're experiencing is normal through our own individual transformation that we're going through and how it's affecting each of us. So as long as it's not something that you're seeing some kind of negative effect because of it, then I wouldn't stress over it because that's definitely not going to help anything. But if you're not having some kind of major complication because of it, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay. The next question is from James Burt Mullins. Veterans hospitals, when will it be safe to return?
I don't know any hospital that's safe to return to at the moment. Uh, I don't know. I really don't. I think that it's just going to be whenever we finally get over this hump and the whole system actually changes. It's like if you don't have to go or you don't have to deal with them, then I wouldn't. But if you do, I would just be very mindful and cautious and let your spirit guide you and any of the decisions that you need to make. Like when I got poisoned, the last place that I ever wanted to go to was the emergency room. But in my spirit, I was kind of like, it's okay, go. And so I did. And the entire time I was there for 4 days in the hospital, I never got this uneasy feeling that something was going to happen to me. That I knew that I should be where I was and that everything was okay and that I needed to be exactly where I was for whatever reason. And I was okay with that. And normally I would not have been. I would have been trying to get out of there the second I possibly could escape. And I did not have that mentality the entire time I was there. And it was because of my spirit. And that's all I could tell anybody to be led by is how they are being led by their own spirit and their own circumstances right then.
Okay, thank you, Captain. The next question is from Mitch Link. Thanks for all you do. I'm a senior lady in Minneapolis. I seldom hear anyone mention the poor people. They say what's happening for middle class and business owners. Do you think there is something coming for the poor seniors? Bless you all, and thanks from Daryl Lee and Crazy Opalis, aka Minneapolis.
Crazyopolis.
Yes, Crazyopolis, yes. Thank you. It
So
just didn't
yeah,
compute.
so there is, I mean, the benefits for the Social Security and for all of that stuff are going to go up quite a bit, actually, based upon where they're at right now. And in that circumstance alone, it's going to pretty much double your income. But with doubling your income and then at the same time being able to eliminate your expenses because the medical and all the medical expenses, Medicare, all that other kind of crap you still have to pay for, all of that is going to go away. And so your financial burden is going to go way down to be almost eliminated. Now, eventually, it will be completely eliminated, but then the financials that you get right now will be increased quite a bit. So immediately, that's going to take you out of being poor and in the poverty line to living at least comfortably until restitution comes with what's been stolen from you from the bonds, the uh, CISA account financially, and everything else. And so the illegal interest that was taken from you through usury interest on fraudulent contracts. So the financial gains that are coming are going to pretty much take anybody and everyone out of that poverty line and put them into at least a where where you would be considered a lower middle class individual right off the bat. But even going further than that down the road, there will be no poor or low income at all. That's why even Elon said that the new systems that are coming online is not going to be UBI, but actually high BI.
Yep, he did say that.
Yep.
When they started talking about UBI, that was about getting the public potentially used to the word and used to the idea that there would be a universal basic income being presented to the people. But in reality, it was never going to be a low UBI, basic income, but it was actually always supposed to be something that was well above the anticipated or what was talked about basic income. Nobody's going to be in poverty in our near future. It's not going to exist.
How you doing on time, Captain?
5 minutes.
You got it. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay. Next one was about RV. You had already talked about that, so I'm going to go to the next one. Renee asks, what will happen with people here, excuse me, on work visas? I have a friend that is an RN here on a work visa. She was born in Singapore and a citizen of Singapore, but has been here for over 30 years, but never became a citizen, although she has been married to a U.S. citizen for 11 years. Will she be deported?
No. She's here legally and lawfully. That's what is important. Um, not only does she have her legal and lawful work visa, but she's also married to a U.S. citizen on top of that. And for a long and extended period of time where she is well established within the system, all those things matter. Um, so it's not like somebody that's here illegally and they're working or they're here on a student visa, there's a lot of difference between those things.
Okay,
And
Linda.
even like right now with these student visas, a lot of these student visas were basically scams on being able to allow foreign countries into our country for them to be able to have access to it.
Okay, Captain. The next question is from Linda. We've heard on another chat that humans really have 12 senses. Have you ever heard this before?
I know that we have a lot more than what's been explained to us, and it has to do with our quantum nature. And they haven't all been revealed to us. And I'm not sure what they all are, but I do know about it. I'm not sure about how to speak about it, though.
Okay, Robin R. says, thank you, Captain, Kelly, and Jenny, and all the admins. So grateful for everything you do. Can we expect to return to our jobs within a week or month from whenever the EBS happens? I remember Trump said about COVID that the response couldn't be worse than the virus. So, in that light, I wondered how long before we begin to ramp up to build our new world. Thank you, and God bless you all.
So the statement is absolutely 100% correct, and that the cure can't be worse than whatever it is. And the response time on whether or not we go back to work and when we go back to work, I'm not really exactly sure about the how do I say this? I don't think that the push initially will be trying to go back to normal, because there is no more new normal. But the emphasis will be on what we need to begin to do and moving forward. And I think that most people are going to want to feel like they're participating in being useful. And so, with that, I think it's going to ramp up relatively quick. But is it within a week or 2 weeks or a month? I don't know exactly. But it will be in the perfect timing and the perfect way that we need to, that we can have the correct focus on exactly what we need to be doing and how we need to do it. Because right now, nobody really knows what they're going to do and how they're going to participate. They have only ideas about what they would like to do. But as far as exactly, nobody knows what it's going to look like at the moment. So that's about the best I can come up with on that for you.
Okay, did you want to take one more?
Yeah, we'll do one more question. That's the last one.
Alrighty. Go North to Dakota ask, sorry I came in late if you talked about this already. Earlier today, someone mentioned that Juan said something about the cleanup in 2028. Can you explain this? I think, was that in our conversation with Scooby today?
Yeah, I believe so. So the there's a lot of stuff that can be referred to and what he was actually talking about. And there's um there's things that are going to happen in 27, the first part of 27, that's going to change the reality of everything and how we live and exist completely. And that's going to start a process of complete change. And in doing so, it's going to take time for that to fully manifest. And will it be in 28? I don't think so, but that's just, that's speculation on that part. But as far as, people and uh, criminality, that's going to happen before then. So if we're talking about cleanup of people and stuff, that's going to happen before then, because cleanup of the people is going to take place before we actually have open contact and the change of society. Open contact is definitely coming at the no later than the end of 26 to the very beginnings of 27. Open contact will not happen if the corruption is still out in the world.
And I think to Captain's point, everybody, the corruption, it's already being dealt with. We're already starting to see it in the forefront here, to the normies, to the public, right? So from the judges and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, I know Cash is on right now talking about all this kind of stuff. So just pay attention, everybody. Things are happening. Stay out of that noise, because more you're distracted with that noise, the more you're not going to see all these wonderful things. And a lot of these things that Captain and all of us are talking about, they're happening in front of our eyes, and everything that you need to know is out there. You just got to look for it, pay attention. It's there, everybody. So, Captain, I know you got to go. Thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless your wife. I'll be saying some prayers for her. I did not know she was going through some challenges, but I'll be saying my prayers for her and you. And Kelly, once again, thank you so much for your help and always reading those questions. And audience, thank you for being here. Great questions. We'll see you in 2 weeks, Captain and Kelly.
Absolutely. Good night, everybody.
All right, guys. God bless. Love you guys. Take care.
Yes, thank you, Jenny. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend, everybody.